Alright, so that third stage, as I was talking about, the providing resources and information stage. So this is now where you might be going through that victim's reporting preference statement, explaining that in detail, explaining some of those finer points, the services, victim's legal counsel, whether they want to make unrestricted, restricted, counseling options, sexual assault forensic examination. You might be talking more about this now, those kinds of things. And so make sure that if you haven't reviewed your victim's reporting preference statement in a while, you don't feel comfortable with it, go to training, talk to your SARC, watch the VRPS video that we've already uploaded. You have to feel comfortable with that form because it is very complex and it's already going to be confusing from the get-go, so you want to make sure that you understand it so you can explain it really good and thoroughly to the client you're supporting. So again, you always want to really be kind of vibing off and relying on the feedback your client's giving you. So if they seem like they're not in a good place for all this information, take it slow with them. Ask them how much information they want to receive right now and what they'd like to talk about now. And some things you can schedule a follow-up in the coming days, weeks, and you'll be working with them over the next few days and weeks and months anyway, so you can always talk about some of this down the road. You really just want to talk about their most immediate concerns in the beginning here. So, if they're not ready to talk about the VA, Veterans Affairs Service at this point, you might have other times where you can talk about that. It might not have to be something you necessarily have to drop right now, so that's kind of just an example. So really just kind of vibe off of them, how they feel, and again, don't overwhelm them with too much information, just kind of what they're ready to handle at that point. And so this brings us to the last kind of stage here in this interaction, the closing stage. So this is really where you want to be providing them your contact information, getting their contact information, exchanging any other information that might be good to know, giving them your SARC's contact information, any other first responder information or counseling resource information, phone numbers that you want to give them. This would be a good time. If you visit your SARC, they probably have some kind of little handy card you could give your client that's got all that numbers in one spot, so check with your SARC. This is where you might want to clarify any last minute questions that you or they have. What are you leaving this interaction and going to work on for them? What is your goal as the victim advocate leaving this interaction? That might be good to know because you want to make sure that you're working on the things that they wanted you to work on for them. Also a good time to talk about any follow-up appointments. Would you like to meet with them on another day? When would be a good time for them to talk to you? And work it out with their schedule. Would it be okay if I call you this time tomorrow, or would you like to meet again in a few days? When would be a good time for us to follow up? What would be your preferred method for me to follow up with you? Would you like me to meet you in person? Would you like a telephone call? Some people really like to text nowadays, and so that might be something that they feel more comfortable. And if that's the case, you can text your client. You just have to be very careful with those text messages. You don't want to leave your phone just hanging around and people can see your messages, so delete your messages, but it's okay to have that kind of communication if that's kind of all they feel comfortable with. And so this is a really good point now to really kind of thank them. Appreciate the fact that they had the courage to come to you and report the sexual assault and to get help. So, that feels good when we appreciate somebody for what they're doing. It makes them feel valued. So, this is a good time for you to appreciate them and what they've done. It did take a lot of courage for them to come talk to you. Maybe this is a good time to make them feel really comfortable with what you're going to do and give them some kind of an assurance. Hey, I assure you everything we've talked about, I'm going to keep that confidential. I assure you I'm going to do everything I can to support you. I'm going to go out from here, and I assure you I'll do everything I can to get this update for you or follow through on this referral for you, and I'll get back to you, at this time with some more information. So, making assurances, you just have to be very careful you actually keep your promises. If you don't, then you lose that trust. But, it's okay to make a good assurance of, I'm going to provide you good support, I'm going to help you every way I can, I'm going to keep all this confidential between the two of us. Makes your client feel much more comfortable and that they can trust you. So. Alright, so that was the 4 stages there. Keep in mind that any interaction we have with the victim of sexual assault can differ drastically, their state of mind, how long ago the report between the assault and the report was, or any kind of medical emergencies. That can change this whole situation drastically, but those are some of the key points that are going to be present in most of our interactions with victims of sexual assault. And so keep checking back to this channel. We will keep posting more videos to try and help you out. And if you have any feedback, please feel free to put that in the comments below. Thank you.